I want you to imagine something. It is January 16, 2027, election day for the presidential elections in Nigeria. You have your PVC, you have woken up, you have baited, you have done everything, and you make your way to your polling unit. 8 o'clock in the morning, the INEC officials are already there, and you are accredited, others are accredited, you are given the ballot paper, and you vote. Remember, you went to the polling unit with your phone in your hand as a voter. Now, after voting, do you leave to go back home or do you wait? It is advised that you wait to make sure that your vote is indeed counted and that your vote counts. And then you wait till 2:30 where votes are supposed to close. Everybody that is in the queue has voted. Vote has closed. 2:30. You are there. The INEC returning officers, they open the ballot. The different political party agents are there. The ballots are sorted and counted for each of the different political parties. And the results are entered into the form EC8A. Everything goes smoothly. And by this time, it's about 4:30 p.m. in the afternoon. What happens next is what will determine whether or not the elections will be free and fair. At this point, since the results have already been written on the form EC8A, we consider that the form EC8A is fully processed. What is the INEC returning officer supposed to do? He is required to use his or her BVAS machine to take a photograph of the form EC8A that has been fully processed and uploaded to INEC's iRev. That's what he's supposed to do. And you are there at the polling unit to make sure that that is done. But is that where you stop? What do you do next? Do you now follow the original form EC8A results from the polling unit to the World Collation Center? Is that the next thing? Oh, no. That's not the next thing. Before you follow the results from the polling unit to the World Collation Center, there is something that you need to do. As the INEC returning officer is using the beavers to take a picture, a photograph of the form EC8A to upload to iRev, you as a citizen with your phone in your hand, you can open your phone, log on to the VoteWatch app, you log in. After logging in, open the part where you capture result. It is called result entry. From there, you select your polling unit from your state to your local government to your ward down to your polling unit, the polling unit where you voted. From that result entry form, you will see the different slots for the different political party. The same figure that was written in the form EC8A, just quickly type it into the form. And then there's a part where you can use your phone to take a picture of the form EC8A. Once you have done that, you click submit. What have you done? You have prevented or you have closed any gap of manipulation on election day. That's what you have done. And the reason is because you now have a backup copy of the form EC8A on VoteWatch aside the one that INEC has on their iRev. If anybody gains access to INEC's iRev, or anybody is able to compromise anybody in INEC to gain access to INEC's iRev, and they manipulate anything, it doesn't matter when it is now public for us to see. You have an independently verifiable version of that form EC8A on the VoteWatch app. And guess what? The VoteWatch app automatically, as you are taking that picture around that 4 p.m. and you upload it to VoteWatch, the world will be able to see it immediately. Do you know something? This is where VoteWatch differs from INEC's IREV. Do you know that at the point where INEC's returning officer uses the Beavers machine to take a picture of the Form EC8A and you are there, you watched the returning officer upload your polling unit Form EC8A election result, and the upload went successfully, and you are happy? It's about 4 p.m. But guess what? While the version of the Form EC8A that you uploaded to VoteWatch is immediately visible worldwide, guess what? You will have to wait another 3 hours or 4 hours for that same result to be visible on INEC's portal. What happened? What caused that delay? What is that delay for? They say they are doing some validation. What are they validating? Is it possible that within that 3 hours, whoever has access to INEC's IREV can do some manipulation in the back end before they now make it public 3 hours later? Is it possible? I say it is. This is why the VoteWatch alternative is fantastic, and it is a must-have if we must have free and fair election. But guess what? The VoteWatch app is ready for you to try it out today to see how wonderful and how powerful it is. Ready? Deployed. Already deployed. Now guess what? The VoteWatch automatically collates the results from different polling units within the same ward and collates the results from different wards within the same LGA, collates the results from different LGAs within the same state, collate the results from different states within one national constituency. And guess what? Immediately, the results are automatically tabulated on the VoteWatch app. And guess what? The VoteWatch app also has AI enabled on it to check what is happening on the INEC's IREV. It pulls what INEC has on INEC IREV and also collates them, and it shows a comparison. What Nigerians submitted from the polling unit versus what INEC made public on their IREV. So you see two versions, independent of each other. Now, this is the most important functionality of VoteWatch. You see, I respect what Yaga Africa is doing with IRAD and some other persons, but they have one fundamental problem, and that is the fact that their results, the IRAD, is dependent on what INEC has uploaded to IREV. Now, while that is good for some people, it is problematic because if within that 3 hour period, that delay, somebody gains access to the back end and manipulates the from EC8A on the IREV, that simply means that we will not have access to it. Means that IRAD from Yaga and others will now be working on the already problematic upload to IREV, and without knowing it, IRAD will now give legitimacy to whatever error might have been perpetuated on the INEC's IREV. But you need an independently verifiable alternative. That is where VoteWatch comes in. And guess what? VoteWatch is easy to operate. For you as a voter, you have the right. You have no fear. It is perfectly 100% legal. You have the 100% right to vote and to make sure your vote is counted at your polling unit. In fact, it's not a right. It is a responsibility that you have. So, nothing to fear. No fear of violence, nothing. With your phone in your hand from your polling unit, you can make the election unriggable and the result immediately visible on the VoteWatch platform. This is going to help because when you start moving from the polling unit to the ward collation center, guarding and guiding your vote, the best you can do is to make sure that the results reach the collation center, starting from the ward. It reaches it. Voters are not allowed inside the collation center. In fact, the political party polling unit agent is not allowed inside the collation center. It's not. All political parties are also expected to also nominate their collation center agent. So police will use tear gas to tear gas you if you do any, if you try to be problematic, or INEC can just decide to change the venue of the collation if they see that, oh, maybe there's trouble brewing. So you see, yes, escort the result, but before you do that, from the polling unit, make sure that you have done your part with VoteWatch. Very, very simple. Let's just take a walk through again. You open click the hamburger button. You see this part here, it says result entry. You click on it. You select your polling unit, any polling unit where you are voting. You select your local government. You select your ward. You select your polling unit. And once you do that, you enter your figures. If the total accredited is 500 voters, and maybe there are five rejected votes, so you have 495, and let's say maybe ADC has 50 votes and APC has 45 votes for that particular unit. That's an example. Now if you come down to this part, you will see that the result entry sheet automatically will let you see where there is a problem. You see, it says accredited voters is 500, exceeds votes cast, which is 100. Remember, we have not entered the one for NDC, and that is, for example, 400. Once you enter it, when everything is correct, you will see that the errors will remove. So within the VoteWatch app itself, there is the capability or functionality to correct whatever errors. You will see if there is overvoting or if there is undervoting or whatever. Guess what? If you are working on your phone, you will see this result sheet photo. When you click on it, you have this button here to take a picture. Once you click on it, it will open your phone camera so that you can take a picture of the form EC8A from your polling unit. And you can do that while the INEC returning officer is using the beavers to take a picture of the form EC8A to upload to IREV. Once you do that, you submit your result. See, very, very simple. Now it says that your result will immediately appear on the dashboard. So you come, click the hamburger button again, go to dashboard. Now the result would have shown on the surface here like this, and then we did Akwa Ibom, right? Akwa Ibom is here. If you come to this place, you see the different votes for Akwa Ibom, and then if you scroll down, you will see the different votes for the different political parties, all 21 of them. Then you will see recent activity. Akwa Ibom, Eket results submitted by for so at so time. You see, it is time stamped, it is agent stamped, so we know who posted it, and we are able to do some validation automatically to compare it with others to make sure that the correct result is entered. And once this happens, you are able to see the results on the dashboard. And if you want, you can have a summary of how the political parties are doing. Is this not wonderful? Right from your polling unit, you don't need to do too many wahala. You can stop rigging. So the question is, have you signed up for VoteWatch? Are you ready to make this little commitment to make sure that Nigeria is better for everybody, and not only 1 million people enjoying the resources of 240 million people, where you have 180 million people living in multi-dimensional poverty? There is something you can do. It is called VoteWatch. Sign up now. The link is in the description.